Kit Kittredge grinned at the headline she had typed. Spring arrivals. Spring, she thought. Now there is a word with some bounce to it. Spring was Kit's favorite season. Her birthday was in the spring, and even though Kit knew her family had no money for a party for her, she couldn't help hoping for one. It was a sunny Saturday morning in April. Kit was sitting at the desk in her attic room making a newspaper. What Kit was supposed to be making was her bed, but the newspaper was much more fun. Kit loved to write. She loved to call attention to what was new or important or remarkable. So, as often as she could, Kit made a newspaper for everyone in her house to read. That was quite a few people these days. When Kit's dad lost his job 9 months ago because of the Depression, her family turned their home into a boarding house. At first, Kit resented the boarders, but she had learned to be grateful. Without the rent they paid, Kit's family would have been evicted from their house. Kit was glad there were 11 people living there now. There was Kit's mother, dad, an older brother Charlie, 2 nurses named Miss Hart and Miss Finney, a musician named Mr. Peck, a friend of Mother's named Mrs. Howard, and her son Sterling, who was Kit's age. At breakfast this morning, Kit had interviewed Mr. and Mrs. Bell, an elderly couple who had just moved in. Later, she would write an article about them to help everyone else get to know them. But now, Kit had chores to do. Every Saturday, it was Kit's job to change the sheets on all the beds. She went room to room, and by the time she had gathered all the sheets and pillowcases, the pile was so big that she could hardly see over the top of it. Just then, the doorbell rang. "I'll get it," she called. When she saw who was standing outside, Kit dropped the pile of sheets and flung her arms open wide. "Aunt Millie!" she cried as she plunged into a hug. "What a great surprise!"
"Margaret Mildred Kittredge,"
said Aunt Millie, using Kit's whole name.
"Heavenly day! You've sprung up like a weed. You must be 2 feet taller than you were when I saw you last July. And still the prettiest child there ever was. It's worth the trip from Kentucky just to see you."
"I'm glad to see you, too," said Kit, practically dancing with excitement as she led Aunt Millie inside. "I didn't know you were coming."
"No one did," said Aunt Millie. "I just took it into my head to come, and here I am, blown in on the breeze like a bug. Now, where are your dad and mother? And where's your handsome brother?"
"Charlie's at work, but he'll be home soon," said Kit. "Mother and Dad are cleaning out the garage. We're so crowded in the house now with all the boarders, we need room out there for storage." As Kit spoke, Aunt Millie put her suitcase and basket in the corner. She took off her hat and coat, put her gloves in her purse, and hung her things neatly on a hook in the hall. She turned and saw the pile of laundry Kit had dropped.
"Changing sheets today, are we?" she observed. "Odd to do it on Saturday with everyone underfoot. Still, it's a good drying day today." She scooped up half the pile. "We'd better begin."
"But Aunt Millie," said Kit, as she picked up the rest of the sheets, "don't you want to say hello to Mother and Dad first?"
"Time enough for that after we get the laundry started," said Aunt Millie. "Work before pleasure. Come along, Margaret Mildred. If we dilly-dally, we'll waste the best sunshine."
Kit grinned. "That's Aunt Millie for you," she thought. "Never wastes a thing, not even sunshine." "I can't wait till Mother and Dad see you," said Kit, as she led Aunt Millie to the basement and put the sheets in sudsy water to soak. "They'll be so glad you've come for a visit."
"Out of the blue,"
said Aunt Millie. She smoothed her dress, straightened her shoulders, and smiled at Kit.
"Lead on, Macduff,"
she said, pointing up the basement stairs. Kit was used to the way Aunt Millie quoted poetry and Shakespeare right in the middle of a normal conversation. Aunt Millie was a schoolteacher, and she couldn't stop herself from teaching wherever she was.